All right,
You're on.
Monday, December 4th, Selectmen's meeting. I'd like to call it to order. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First on the agenda is public input. I don't see anybody here from the public. We can go right into review and approval of minutes for October 23rd.
Right there says that that's this one.
I'll move that we approve the minutes.
I'll second for discussion.
Please feel free to discuss.
I don't have any corrections to make, but I do have a question where it says bid opening for Union Wharf project. It mentions in the second paragraph, last sentence, that, well, actually the whole second paragraph, that Chairman Pike continued by opening the Selectmen Albee asked what we had for money, and Chair Pike replied that he knew it was $284 and change. Just reading that, one would think that we don't have enough money to do the job. Would it be appropriate to add that we have that $100,000 grant as well?
Right.
Sure.
I think we talked about that at that meeting anyway.
We did.
We did, but it should be reflected in the minutes.
How do you want to reflect it? Plus $100,000 state bid, and
Sure.
state grant.
Right.
Sure, that works.
Yes. Yeah, just add plus 100,000 state grant. All right. So, need a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. Next up, we have Dennis Zalongo, our Parks and Rec Director, in for his monthly update. Ooh. Okay, monthly. Excited too.
Okay, we have a commission meeting tomorrow at the library. We've got a presentation to Andrew Lester, just kind of a
What time?
4.
Okay.
It's 4. We got to be out of there because Jackie has a meeting there at 6.
Okay.
And I have a program at the school at 6, so we're going to limit it to 2 hours. But Andrew Lester, who's designing our bike trail, is going to put a presentation on, and we've invited quite a few people from the town, so hopefully we get a good turnout for that. I'm not sure if you knew, we got a $5,000 check in from the Fisk Family Foundation towards the bike trail.
Wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, it came in I think it was last week. We had got information from the land bank, and we contacted them, and Joyce and I talked to them probably close to a half hour. They're out in San Diego, and they do a lot of donating around here, and they were impressed. And I think the 5,000 is just the start, to be honest with you. So that was a good one.
Nice.
It should be kind of quick. A couple big items I want to talk about, but kids dodgeball is going good. We're half through on that. We end up the first week in January. Men's basketball, I'm pretty excited. Last Tuesday we had 18 players.
Wow.
So we're trying to get that to 30 and actually have 4 teams with a league. So we're happy about that. This is a big question mark, but we are starting adult dodgeball on January 25th. One of the parents, I guess, has a company. He's told me he's got 40 people already signed up. So that should be a good program. We got photo with Santa. I'm sure Rebecca will be there with Isaiah.
Yes.
By the way, you were involved with that chair presentation on the beach this summer.
Yes.
And that's how Rebecca and I met. I was struggling with a pop-up, those pop-up tent things. And my wife came over and I'm trying to use all my strength. She comes over, we're trying to do it. Next thing you know, snaps, breaks. She went home, got her pop-up, and there you go. Wow. So that's how we met, yeah. Nice. We had to babysit Isaiah while she went.
That was the whole trick.
Yeah. But anyway, photo with Santa on the 16th. Santa's coming in. We got Santa from beautiful town clerk, Kurt's friends, and he comes in, does a nice job. We have cookie decorating. You know, music, refreshments, coloring contests, so we're happy about that. Unfortunately, I have to leave halfway through that thing, and I'm hoping my commissioners can follow through. I'm picking up my new baby down in Orange, Mass, who was born about 2 weeks ago. It's a beagle I told you about, so pretty excited about that, because I'm very lonely, so I need a dog. I've been in touch with most of the concert people. Funny thing this year, July 4th is on a Thursday, so I need your help with this. I just don't think it'd be wise to have a concert that night because of fireworks, wolf town barbecues, things like that. So I just hate to schedule a band, pay them, and then 30 people show up. So what do you guys think on that?
Well, it's gonna be a long weekend,
Yeah.
so I think Friday or Saturday would certainly work.
But
I mean, there's gonna be people coming up here for the 4th of July.
right, I know, but I mean,
They're not
on that
gonna-
Thursday, they have fireworks
Right.
in Wolfville that night,
Yeah,
so that might pull away from us.
absolutely.
So I think it's probably best not to schedule that night.
Seems appropriate to just let that one go.
Yeah, but we're
Because
still,
Friday or Saturday night, the band's probably got another gig set up somewhere to play.
yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah.
might be
But we
tough.
still got the 8, I'm replacing one of the groups. The 7 of them I've been in contact and they all look pretty good. I'm just not set with this warrant article thing. What do we gotta do to get that on with the,
You have to, I mean, is this the bike path?
yeah,
Yeah, which seems to, I mean, I've just read a few email in passing
yeah.
that it's kind of morphed into some conservation project, and it's not a bike path anymore, it's gonna be a walking path as well as a bike path.
Well, the skills training is down below for the kids, and then around that is a 1/4-mile track,
Yeah,
which seniors can't really sometimes walk through the woods, but it's like a paved track with benches and stuff, and they're looking for a dog park and a pavilion and a playground, so it's a combination of a lot of things.
and so has your budget changed? I mean, you were looking for
No,
50
this is
grand.
just the beginning stages, and I think we're just introducing it tomorrow night to the community.
I think that people are gonna wanna see vetted before you put a warrant article up.
But I'm saying, we can start the skills thing with this $5,000, getting us closer. We do have a mailing going out to the town, and then we'd like to see what's left between that 69,000, between what we got, what the Fisk thing brought in, what the mailing brought in, and put the balance on a warrant to say, let's at least build that skills park. You can always add the other stuff as the years go. So I'd still like to try and get that warrant article for that.
Well, just thinking about that, what's gonna hamper your efforts is that we have a deadline to get those warrant articles into the DRA. And
Okay.
if we don't have a number in time, obviously we can't put it on the warrant. So we need to be,
So is there like a ballpark figure we can come up with?
No, it has to be
Oh.
exactly what we need.
right,
Yeah.
We can't ask the
I just hate
voters.
another year to go by and not get that on the
I
warrant.
know, but in order to put a number on it and be able to sell it to the people that are gonna vote on it,
Yeah.
I think all the details need to be complete. People are gonna wanna know what their taxpayer dollars are
Yeah.
going to.
And it's not a problem, you stop thinking about it in 2 ways. You don't have to know how much money you've raised, that's not the issue. The
No.
issue is, what is this project gonna
right,
cost?
the gross.
So, cause even if, let's say the project costs $70,000, that's what the warrant article has to read.
Okay.
And then in addition, in the warrant article, there will be so much money raised from donations,
Yeah.
and the balance is gonna be
So what if we just
taxes.
say we're not gonna add the mailing, we're gonna add this 5,000 to what we got, it'll bring us probably around 17, 18, and then put that balance on a warrant article.
Yeah, that,
You can.
okay, and that's fine, but that's just the money part of it.
Yeah.
You gotta know exactly what it's gonna cost. You can't say, I think it might cost
No, we
this.
know exactly, we got the price.
So let's get a contract out of whoever's gonna do it.
Yeah,
Now we've got something that we can actually present. This is what you're buying.
yeah,
We're not just putting money aside for some
right,
hope. This is actually what we're buying, and this is what it costs.
gotcha. So the
That's-
next step would be what?
Well, whoever you're contracting with to design this and
Well, we'll
build it.
see him tomorrow, and he's got,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you guys seen the price of the
We saw the original one for the
Yeah.
bike trail, but if
Yeah.
it's gonna be modified, if the wording is gonna be modified.
No, it's that Skills Park, it's the same, 69,000. So. When's the deadline to?
And what about the intent of the wording?
Meaning,
The original proposal that you got from Andrew
Like,
was to build a bike trail.
With the skills part.
yeah.
Did it say
That
that in the,
Yeah, and now it's shifted to more of a youth thing rather than.
but the
The
wording,
Skills Park was still there, during the
The
original,
wording is-
yeah,
does it really need to change?
no.
Okay.
I'm gonna see him tomorrow, so I will talk to him about it too, so.
yeah, what do we need? We need from him a description of what it is he's gonna do and how much money it's gonna cost.
Okay,
That's really what we
I
need.
got you.
As long as we have that reasonably soon.
Yeah, I mean,
Reasonably would be by the first of the month, I would think.
We're already the first of the month.
No, the first of January. First of the year, I'm
When's our
sorry.
deadline for DRA, the 28th of January?
Yeah, it's later in the month.
Yeah.
I don't have it.
But we
in
still
my-
have to
But it's the end of the
Yeah.
month.
It still has to go through the budget committee. meeting.
Well,
So the sooner you
Yes.
get it to us, the better.
Okay, all right, I'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah, get it firmed up, get it right to us, and
Well.
we'll move on.
Absolutely will. Anybody showing up tomorrow for that?
I'm gonna be here at the Agricultural Commission, unfortunately.
Okay,
I'll be there.
Okay.
I got budget committee, so it's gonna be
Yeah.
that and then budget.
back here, budget?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of, that's the other issue I have is the budget. Where does it stand and when will I finally see what I got and what's the decision on Oakville?
Well, you've got what you've got for 2023, that's not ever gonna change. That's cast in stone.
No, I know.
What you're getting in 24, you'll find out in January when the budget gets vetted. I mean, it's going through the budget committee process now, and then we have to have a budget hearing, and then the voters vote in March, but once we have a budget hearing, you can kind
So
of.
we've already approved your budget.
Yeah,
I think the budget committee are gonna look at it again tomorrow night for approval.
yeah.
Because you presented last time, and now this, tomorrow night will be,
So you know what my big question is?
yeah.
Yes, we do.
What's the decision on that?
There is no decision yet. Audrey has tried to reach out to Wolfboro Parks and Rec to see if there's any kind of original agreement on paper or anything like that. She gets no response. My conversations with her indicate that this week she'll be talking to the town manager down there to see if she can get some kind of a response. But my theory, my feeling is, as much as I agree with you, I do not want to sever the relationship we have with Wolfboro at this time. If we can find some concrete evidence that we should be paying that kind of money, I think then we should, for sure. But right at the moment, we're kind of in limbo yet still, Dennis. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I do, and you don't have a decision yet, but
No.
I mean, you know how strong I feel about it.
Yes, we do.
Okay. That's all I have.
And we
All right.
know what you wanna do.
Yeah,
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
all right. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right.
Thank you. Good to see
Well,
you.
we're a little ahead of schedule. We got some budgets to look at. First in my package happens to be workman's compensation, property and casualty insurance, and insurance policy deductible. I don't know where you guys sit in your packages.
It's right there on top.
Actually, it's the only one.
So I got the police on top.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. As we can see, costs are up.
Yeah, but these are fixed costs, these are,
They are, and they appear to look, just roughly without adding it up, to be within about a 3% increase to me. It may be more, but
But that's from 23, it's actually a reduction from 22. So,
yes, it is.
Yeah, the backup has a letter from Primex explaining it. The only one I think might be able to vary from the quote would be the workers' comp. I don't, was it workers' comp? I don't know when the values were put in.
the values from the payroll,
Right, the payroll,
and do you think that payroll is low?
I can ballpark it and give them a quick call, but I don't think it's off by much.
We're under right now, I think, on workers' comp.
So they may change something and I just write the change in here.
I saw it.
So is that 31,660 an accurate number?
It's what they quoted based on the compensation that they had. I don't know when those are due, if they're updated in June, for example, or after March, after town vote.
I see that. Workers' comp, we budgeted 28,782 last year.
Mhm.
Yep.
And we're at
You should be right at that
31,660.
for next
We haven't
year.
gotten a bill for workers' comp
Yeah, you should have.
from Primex,
Mhm.
because it's not on our expenditures.
Should have been received in January.
I'm sorry?
It should have been received in January, that's when they bill.
And then we back it up into 23. Because you don't have any charges against workers' comp in the 23 budget. You're still holding 28,782. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
sorry. I apologize.
Okay,
My eyes were crossed. Okay, so that was exactly what we paid. So if we have it's a new number, 31,660. So it's a 10% increase or a 9% increase.
Yes.
yeah, it says due to recent legislation that
Right.
gives extended coverage to firefighters, cancer claims.
So I think we're pretty close.
As far as our payroll number,
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of this is payroll driven too,
right.
so.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the 4196 insurance budget for $88,205.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, next on the, long-term notes is the next item here, and for whatever reason, I don't seem to have that, but I know what it is. Thank you. This would be the Central Fire Station Principal, which is basically a fixed cost for all intents and purposes. Seems like it went down by $1.29. That's for $153,710.29.
Yeah, it didn't go down.
No,
It stayed exactly the same.
well, according to this, it went down 70 cents or so, or maybe 60 cents.
It's gonna go down 6 cents and 27. But anyway.
Just happens to match our 2022 actual perfectly.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve 4711 debt service for $153,710.
I'll second that.
And 29 cents.
Yeah, I'll second that.
29 cents, I'm sorry.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next up is the Central Fire Station interest on that loan. And that would be $15,309.54, which is actually down roughly $4,000, which makes sense.
37.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve 4711 debt service for 153,710 and 20, no, I'm sorry.
4723.
4723. It's not a 10. Interest payment of $15,309.54.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Health agencies is the next one. That'll be number 4415. We've seen this. The total is slightly up. I say about, it looks like about $500 or so. You don't have it?
Oh, thanks.
We had a nice presentation by End 68 Hours of Hunger, which we can, and they backed up their numbers, I thought, quite nicely. Provided a lot of services. They were up, but the number of students that they're servicing in general is up, and in Tuftonboro it's up. Slight increase in Tri-County Action. Starting point is actually a decrease. A lot of these stay the same.
So 68 hours of hunger is going down by $700?
Actually, that $4,200 that it shows in the 2023 budget line here is not correct.
I couldn't find where it came from. I researched it, and their letter from last year was for the amount we paid, which,
2,500.
2,500, yeah.
Right.
But it shows in the budget that we budgeted
I
4,200.
know, I have no idea where that came
I don't know
from.
why it was budgeted that way, but we know what we paid.
But they invoiced us 25,
Yeah.
Correct?
and then they're asking this year for 35.
Right. And you were there for the presentation,
Yep.
so you're well aware of it. Chip could have watched it on TV if you wanted.
Yeah.
I'll move 4415 health agencies for the amount of 41,241 bottom line.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to see, I don't know what we need to do about the having the correct number in there for the budget.
Nothing.
Just leave it. I mean, I know it's water under the
For
bridge.
last year's budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it
Yeah,
shows,
you can't change last year's.
it shows 4,200, and we were only invoiced 25.
Pretty good.
All right,
It's a savings account.
okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
And insurance, 4196. Don't have that one
You
either.
just did that one.
Excuse me?
You did that one.
Oh.
I have
That's right.
docks and bridges of 4313, and
Yes.
I need guidance on it. I don't know what to put in there.
Okay. I
So,
think I do have that
that was
hiding away somewhere.
$5,000.
Yes, docks and bridges. We budgeted 5,000. Bob questioned what that was about at the last meeting, and I
I'm going to wait for you, Chip.
explained that, and we thought we'd wait for you. Chip?
Thank you so
Well,
much.
make you feel included.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're not sticking you out on the porch in your rocking chair yet, buddy.
Okay. So
It's a
we're,
goal.
other docks and highways is docks and bridges
Right.
is generally speaking a placeholder, but we did spend $1,758. I believe that was on,
Melbourne Wharf. I know some work got done there.
yeah, it was either Melvin Worth or Lake Street, but I think you're right, it was Melvin Worth.
Right. Those,
We are gonna have probably in 2024 some design costs going into Lake Street,
right.
and that's where we generally have put money for that.
Mhm. I think we should request $5,000 again.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On the, that was another question I had for Audrey, was on the milfoil. We're way over budget on that by like 20 grand, I think.
I believe some of that I need to request from the trustees.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're in later this week, you could look at it with me, I'd appreciate that.
Sure.
Okay.
And I think Bill Markison's still kicking around, he's still living. But he was the driving force on that.
All right, that takes care of budgets. Police chief is due in at 5:30, so we've got some time. I think we can do signatures and things like that while we wait, and we won't be behind the 8 ball. If I can get this taken care of. So in the signature file, we have a notice of appointment for Vicki Seletsky to become an alternate member of the Conservation Commission. We spoke with, she met with us last week with Steve Scapiccio. She's already in the, I think it's the Carroll County Conservation Commission, if I got that right, if I remember, but very qualified. I have a motion to appoint Vicki.
A recommendation?
Yeah.
Yeah, so moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up, we have a right of burial. For Joseph and Thomas Nelson. Been through our cemetery trustee board. I have a motion to sign.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then we have a bunch of paychecks that need to be signed, and these, I believe, if I read this right, are longevity checks.
Correct.
I don't know if I need to read the names of each one that's getting a longevity check at this point in time.
No, some of them are direct deposit, only a few of them alive.
Okay, so I'd make a motion that we sign these longevity paychecks.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. What on earth?
So it's
It's also the selectmen's, you
let's
know.
see.
Yes, our yearly stipend. Let's see, come on in. I believe we could just hand those right back to Audrey.
Okay.
I'll throw them all together like I found them. If I can find that little clip. Use this one. Good. All right, big finger's little clip. Miss Audrey. That ends the signature file. In action items, we have a Tufton Borough Times schedule and who is writing the article for the winter edition of the Tufton Borough Times, which needs to be submitted by January 5th. Having written the fall edition,
I think I'm the next on the list. Unless you want to do it, Bob.
If I'm in line, I'll do it.
You're not, Chip is. Chip will handle that.
You're in line?
I am in line.
Also under action items, which should be under action items, but doesn't appear to be, we have a proposed schedule for 2024 of a draft schedule of a meeting schedule which would put the selectmen's meetings at every other week, for example. There's a couple of changes need to be made in it for an election and we want that, but it looks, again, with those changes that might have to be, it looks pretty reasonable and feasible to do to me. I would say that if we could have a revised schedule with those little changes made for next meeting, we could probably approve that. Starting in January, we'd go to every other week for a selectmen's meeting rather than 2 in a row and then wait for a third.
And one of these meetings per month will be at 9 o'clock in the morning?
No,
Everything will be evening?
yeah.
Everything will be evening?
Yeah, 4:30 every other week.
Okay.
Well, we had set up one at 9 because vendors like to come in. It's always been my opinion that if they want our business bad enough, they'll come at 4:30 or 7 as it used to be. So I'm happy enough to keep them all at 4:30, sometimes 4 if we have something special, but willing to entertain any concerns that.
Well, it works better for me because I'm still a working fool, so.
Yeah, we have elections enough that we'll be here all day.
Right, so we'll be at the townhouse all day, right?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
And if something comes up, we need a work session.
Oh, yes, those,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, those can be
Right.
worked in. So if you make those changes,
What were the changes, I'm sorry?
January 23rd.
Oh, listing the elections?
that's the primary day.
Okay, yep, got those.
That's
Yeah.
That's a budget meeting.
right.
Yep, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
move that budget meeting.
There was another
Wasn't there
one.
one in September or something? like
September
that?
10th and November 5th.
Right, well, September 10th, we wouldn't be scheduled to have a meeting anyway.
November 5th. Other than that, looks good.
Yep.
I'll move the new selectmen's schedule for 2024 as corrected.
I'll second.
You're all set? No discussion yet, Chip? You're good with it?
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
fine.
Okay.
It's gonna have to change at some point in time someday, but. I'm fine to
We've been
second.
flexible and we can move things with enough notice.
I'm fine.
All right, all in favor of the new schedule?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you
Thank you
wanna
so
vote
much.
on the holiday schedule as well?
We can look at the holiday schedule.
Before you do that, can we consider, you would normally meet Christmas Day, do you wanna meet the 26th of this month? And that would be, 2 weeks prior to your next meeting on the 8th. So really, any of those days,
We have to meet before the first in order, if we wanna do any
Any encumbrances?
encumbrances.
Yeah.
your encumbrances will be, on the 11th, I need to have those done. But,
In a perfect world. But in
So that's
the
next,
tough-
that's
the
next
tough
week.
real world,
Next Monday.
it's always been the last week of the year, something comes up.
okay.
So I think we need to have a
alright,
meeting that week
okay.
of some kind.
I did already put out one email.
So you're thinking that maybe Boxing Day, the 26th, we might have a meeting?
I think you should have one that week.
Yeah,
I'm fine with the 26th.
So am I.
that's the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's good, yeah.
Schedule it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
All
that's,
And we're getting into holidays.
4:30.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
4:30.
please. We have a proposed schedule.
I like the schedule, except I would recommend that if we're gonna have one floating holiday, it be a true floating holiday.
Yes.
And be at the, essentially at the employee's whim with the permission of their supervisor, as long as their supervisor is okay with it. And I'd make that a motion.
I'll second it for discussion. Chip?
I'm okay with whims as long as whims have a little notice.
Well, yes, well, that would be,
I don't have a problem with, I don't want employees walking in today and saying I'm taking tomorrow as a holiday.
yeah,
And that doesn't make an operation.
it would require prior approval.
Yeah.
And prior doesn't mean 10 minutes prior to not
Can we
coming.
set like a week or something? Some time certain that they have to notify their employer?
Well, I'm not sure. Because if somebody says, hey, it's gonna be a slow day, can I have tomorrow off? Can I take it as my floating holiday? And the supervisor is okay with it. I think it should be at the supervisor's discretion.
If the supervisor doesn't feel there's enough notice, then I guess that would work that way, wouldn't it?
Can you word it at the supervisor's discretion?
I don't know that we're having trouble with our holiday pay as it is.
That's a different topic though.
Yeah, but you're just adding to the topic by adding another floating holiday that can be
Still
it's gotta
12
be
holidays.
paid off at
No, it's 13 if you put the floater in.
No.
No.
12.
1, 2, 3, 4,
You can't,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I know, but you can't count Easter because that's only for the transfer station.
Right.
Nobody else takes Easter.
So they're taking us.
Every other holiday's on Monday, why don't you take Monday?
Easter's on a Sunday.
So,
I see what you're saying.
I mean, I'm good with 2024 trying this out as a, but I'm letting everyone know that if it's not working out reasonably, then we'll change again in 25.
We have, what, 15 opportunities to see if it works?
We do.
About that?
right. And the authority to make a change at any time.
Well, I think we're voting on a vacation or a holiday schedule
Yes, we are.
and a policy on the floater, so I don't know that we can change it mid-year. But, all right, I'm fine. I'm gonna call a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good.
And you want us all to
Thank you.
sign this? I see signature lines here.
Only
Yeah.
because they had them in the past, so,
Yeah, we'll sign it.
okay.
No problem.
And let everybody know that we're giving one more holiday than the state of New Hampshire does.
Right.
They do not give Columbus Day.
You mean Indigenous Peoples' Day?
Do you want to sign one that's not a draft, though?
Oh yeah, I'll bring it in to sign next time.
Okay.
That'd be the best.
So leave it with the paychecks this week or something.
All right,
Yep.
perfect. Thanks, Pam.
I don't know where the paychecks are. Did you take those paychecks
Right
already?
here.
Let's slide it over there. Might as well get into correspondence since we have lots of time. We have a notice from the Board of Adjustment that the Hicks Family Trust of Tax Map 25-1-184 has been granted a variance. We have a note from Steve Scapicchio of the Conservation Commission to Eileen Gill of the Parks and Rec Commission that he and Mr. Rick Vanderpool had walked the Central Park Trail yesterday, and they came up with a couple small concerns that Steve actually mentioned at the Selectmen's meeting last time when you weren't here, Chip. It's some wetlands things. Doesn't say that it can't be done, but they're going to talk about it at the meeting tomorrow night and present what they see as might be a glitch or anything like that, how to overcome it. It'd be pretty simple, I think. We have the Carroll County proposed budget for 2024, if anyone's really interested in digging.
I'm quite familiar with it.
Okay, Chip probably would like to really get into this.
Yeah, there's nothing we can change about it.
No,
And our representatives never show up, so.
right,
Because we're not,
that's correspondence. Can we do selectmen's updates in 20 minutes?
sure.
Sure.
All right,
I had no other meetings last week. I have nothing additional to report.
right.
So we've got a budget meeting tomorrow night. I don't know if either one of you are gonna go.
I intend to be
I
there.
plan to be there.
And hopefully we'll get some budgets approved from those folks. I think we got I met with Friends of Libby Museum. They want to monument the park down there,
Okay,
Libby Museum, and there are, I don't know if you saw the email from the surveyor,
I did,
there have been some encroachments.
right.
So we need to make some declaration as to what sort of remedy we want for those encroachments. And we had, although Tufton Road, I don't think it was involved that much, but they kept a lot of money that they were raising for the museum in a trust. So they're hoping they have enough money to do the monumenting and the surveying that's involved with that. But they'd like an affirmative vote from the Board of Selectmen that they do the monumenting.
I don't see any problem with allowing them to do the monumenting if they survey it properly, and it has been done, so. I'd make a motion to approve the monumenting of the, I guess I'll call it the Libby Park portion of Tufton Borough.
It is Libby Park.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Good?
I do have one
Okay.
thing, sorry. I just got notification in an email Friday, I think, that the fire suppression project in the vault is probably gonna start tomorrow.
Good?
So, you know.
So that's something we'll have to encumber.
No.
No,
You think they'll be done?
they
If
want.
they're not,
They wanna have it done by the end of the year.
we've got a problem.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're,
And I'm not sure that if they started the work, we would have to encumber the money. Even
Well, if we haven't paid them, we have to encumber it,
Right.
but yeah, hopefully they'll be done.
We'll see.
so that's one encumbrance. We also want to make sure we've got that
Right on.
Union Wharf project all in hand, so we don't have to go through that nonsense again.
We do have it in here.
We have it in hand currently. But
Yeah.
I think we need to check the wording for the warrant article, that it's not gonna end in 31st.
Should be a town report around here somewhere, but we can check it easily enough.
Yeah, we've got time.
All right. I spent some time with Audrey on Thursday, working through the longevity pay situations that we have. And I think we're ready to get Audrey's report. I think we have time.
Sure.
Yeah.
And she may request a non-public.
I am requesting a non-public.
Immediately?
Yeah.
All right, and you have the 91A number for that?
It's A.
A. I gotta find that paper she gave me with all the 91A things in it. I can't find it.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
All right. It's 91A3 2A.
All right. Make a motion to go into non-public for 91A2A, I believe she said.
Yeah.
Second,
All in favor? Pike aye?
Murray, aye.
All the aye.
All right, that door's shut. Nobody's out there.
Need to be made, you just wanted to make us aware of
Right.
the shit going down.
Right.
Let us know when we're ready.
You're all set.
Thank you. Would you please open that door?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
we don't
so,
get to,
Yes, continue with your.
yeah, last week was a little challenging. There's a lot of things that have to happen in December, like encumbering funds, the holiday pay, the longevity pay, the selectmen's pay, paying the cemeteries. So if you know of anything that's on your radar, let us know, because we're keeping a list and trying to keep up with it and figure it out as we go along. I expect a learning curve at the beginning of the year, because this is what wakes me up, is how do I make sure everyone's holiday pay, or vacation time gets rolled over to the new year appropriately, and all those approvals, so.
Right. That's why we need the personnel policy in effect.
Right, but it's how MuniSmart works. It's a new software to me.
So it's not so much policy as it is foolish computer stuff, I'll call it.
Right. So learning new software on the gun
Implementation.
can
Yeah.
can be a little bit tough.
Sure.
And then, as we mentioned earlier, I have a call into Wolfboro Rec. I sent another email to my solar connection
Right.
person. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just running, keep up right now.
And we will get bills in January for 2023.
Yes.
Nobody's right up to date on that, so they'll actually affect the 2023 budget. They trickle in. Sometimes they come pretty early, other times it's pretty late, but be advised.
We did have an outage this morning because the power
Sure did.
went out a few
Right.
times, and I've asked Lakes Region Computer to label downstairs what should be brought up in the appropriate order for the equipment to take correctly. One of the routers, the one from Consolidated for the internet, hadn't kicked back on because it's not plugged into the UPS correctly, so we fixed that. And the server is sitting on a piece of plywood in the basement, which I was kind of appalled at, so I'll probably find a rack to put it on, something that brings it up, and
Is it actually on the floor?
no, it's on a piece of plywood up a little bit.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of old computer carcasses down there too. That,
So computers go to die.
oh my gosh, I
It's a
couldn't
pile
believe
of
it.
dead.
It was my first benefit of the basement. And so I think I'm gonna ask Chris Rule when he has an electronics pickup to come take some of them.
Good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. So, the police chief's due in 2 minutes.
Want me to show Rebecca how to go grab the police?
That wouldn't be bad.
All right.
She'll be doing that frequently.
Audrey,
Yes.
I'm gonna give this back to you.
Was there a paper in there for the Boston Post cane?
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Everybody's refusing it?
No, we have a
No,
gentleman
David Hagan, I believe it is.
who's
David
accepted
Hagan?
He's
it.
accepted it, so
and-
we're gonna have to schedule a little get together with him, but that's
Good.
one of the easier ones. I
So
think.
should we do that, like the 26th, have him come in that evening?
The last time we went to a man's house, actually,
Okay, we'll ask him his choice.
and they put on a finger food benefit. It was quite a. I'm
Wow.
not sure if Mr. Hagan wants to do that or not, but you could ask if you'd like to come in.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to plan an exit interview for one of our employees for next week.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a valuable tool for us, and we'll give him congratulations for a lot of years of
He's on his way.
service. That'll be good.
That'll be non-public.
The exit interview will be non-public. The congratulations for his service will obviously be public, yes.
Is he on his way?
Yeah.
We're gonna reach out to that gentleman on the Boston Post cane and see what he would prefer, if he'd like to come in on the 26th,
Awesome.
or,
Well, if he wants a home visit. Audrey, do you want these back?
I gave it back, but
I don't need to hold on to it, do I?
no.
Take that and
We need to see.
shred it?
Yeah.
Well, I know it's a long walk.
They asked to put $600 worth of hats on. Did you notice that in the budget?
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
A little late.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Well, car starts are about the same as last year. Accidents about the same. The rest are down a little bit. Felonies down a little bit. Offenses are down.
Excuse me.
I think that part of that has to do with the lack of hours of coverage.
The felonies?
No, well, offenses and incidents. No, felonies typically are reported, not,
I certainly hope so.
they're not typically discovered by an officer on patrol, but offenses sometimes are, and incidents definitely, and calls for service, you know, checking buildings, that sort of stuff adds up to that.
What's the difference between an offense and an incident?
So like, an offense is a crime, so you can have an incident that has several crimes. Whereas an incident is, for example, lost and found property. There's no crime with that, but that's an incident. Incidents can be both,
Gotcha.
criminal and non-criminal.
Gotcha.
So an incident is an incident report that we did a report on. Report might have more than one crime attached to it. On the flip side, there are incidents that are non-criminal, like
Just need your help for something or whatever.
there was a iPhone that was found in the road the other day, for example, that became a lost found property. That was a non-crime incident report.
Gotcha.
So actually, what that is, when I break it out, it says criminal offense, criminal incidents and non-criminal incidents. I combine the number and put it down there. So that's why I think some of that is lower, because we don't have people on as many hours as we've had in the past compared to last year. Especially in the sense of non-criminal. So obviously the truck is gone. The 22, I'm still waiting to hear, but I believe the 18th, they're coming to put the stuff back in that they took out so we can get the warranty work done on it, or the recall work done on it. So then the 22 will be back online, and then the 2015 can be stripped, which we need. Some of the equipment in the 2015 goes into the 2023, which is still waiting for the confirmation of the time. Last I got was possibly February to get us in the queue for February to get that done. Just so many people in front of us. Let's see, and as far as, you know, obviously we've got ads out a few places, but we've got nobody. The ones we had one going through the process, which is no longer in the process. And we had another one who expressed interest and has decided to move to out of the area totally. And then we had another one who I heard of through another department, and they got picked up by Guilford, so they weren't interested in applying anywhere else because they just got hired someplace. It's just not as interesting. One of the things that we do is we're part of the Great Bay, I forgot it, I guess. Great Bay Police Testing Alliance, and they actually canceled their October test. We used to have we'd have well over 100 apply. The October test of this year they canceled because they only had 9 people apply to take the test, and it goes to 100 agencies. So that's just nobody applying.
So it's not unique to Tufton Borough.
It is not unique to Tufton Borough. It's I know Molten Borough's looking for 3. Meredith filled their position. Guilford's got positions. State Police still have 70 openings. They hire people, but then
70?
Yeah, they've been running consistently about 70 openings, but they hire people, then a number of them retire or leave for whatever reason. The thing they're seeing statewide is people aren't staying that long either. They come in, they're just not staying. A lot of them are getting out partway through what would be a career, or they just don't stay that long for whatever reason. They decide to go into the private sector or do something else. Wakefield's got an opening right now, I know. Rochester, I mean, Tamworth, Guilford, Pittsfield. I mean, right now there's just a lot of openings all over, but, and not that many people applying, so people, like the state police now are starting people at 72,000 a year. That includes a $10,000 retention. You have to guarantee to stay a certain period of time to get that. Franklin's offering that, even for uncertified people, which is kind of unusual, but that's what they're offering now to make it.
And still not getting the results they want.
Well, state police are hiring people, but they're, on the flip side, they have the
Yeah.
people going out the other end, so they have a
I
real.
was thinking more of the other departments, but
Some are, I mean, when you only have 9 people, and I don't know, they're all, obviously not all 100 persons. Obviously it doesn't, I don't know that all 100 in the Great Bay Police Testing Alliance have openings, but there's quite a few in that. I know Portsmouth does, Rochester.
sounds like there's pretty stiff competition one way or the other, if you can get anybody to apply.
We gotta be competitive if you wanna see to do something. I mean, that's how.
Also, the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, to have somebody want to be a police officer, that you guys have gotten some bad press over the,
Yeah,
publicly, nationally. I
I
don't
think-
mean Tuckenbridge,
yeah, no, I think.
nationally.
Yeah, and I certainly appreciate that, understand that. I think we're lucky to be here, and that generally, for the most part, the state really does support us. You know, obviously in the events recently down in Concord, we saw a lot of support. But there's just not enough people coming in, and coming in, they don't want to necessarily do some, you know. I saw a number of ads, like Molten Borough has an ad out, you know, talking about modern police facility and equipment, facial hair and tattoos allowed, comparable pay, overtime and detail. I mean, and Rochester, health, dental, life, retirement, ample time off, family sick time. They want a good family life balance. A lot of them don't want to work the extra overtime and stuff. Rochester has load-bearing vests, gym in the PD for use, tattoos and beards allowed. And then they also talk about their specialized units and some of their equipment that they have. I mean, that's kind of, you know, Hanover talks about some of this stuff they offer. I think Hanover offers extra if you have a degree, and if you pass a certain physical fitness test by a certain level, it's extra. Laconia, it just talks about their ad. You know, Wakefield is, you know, talking about their life insurance and all this stuff. Favorable shift 4-3. That's kind of what it is. People want a better. People coming in don't want to work the extra umpteen details and umpteen shifts, and they want a better 4-3.
You're never requiring that anyway. Chief.
I understand that, but I'm just saying they're looking. Well, call is something that we do have, and that's where I think some of the interest is in. Anyway, that's what they're seeing. You know, reading, and from what I've seen, it has been kind of successful in some places, is they get the interest with some of these pay and retention bonuses. One of the things I read, this was IACP, they talked about, you know, increased training opportunities. Was one town in Arkansas, but what they did is they allowed a lot of opportunities for training, and that seemed to interest people too. But they had to have backfill to cover those times. So others talked about specialty options. You know, the 4-3 shift, because that gives you 3 days off instead of, you know, 2 days off. That seems to be attractive to some places. That's all. That's what has seemed to strike with some of them. In the ICP, they talked to some small agencies. So what they seemed to work, and one of them was increased training opportunities. And they knew that eventually they would lose those people to another place, but then they had the reputation of offering a lot of training, so people would come there. Or if they applied to this large agency and said, we don't have an opening yet, go here, you'll get some good training. Then we'll, you know, so yeah, they lifted them, but they also knew they'd have people coming back. Another thing that some places have offered is a referral bonus, you know, so if Officer X got somebody to come in, they would get a bonus. That's some of the things anyways. That's where things are at pretty much on that.
Any other questions for the chief before we start looking at the budget? Showtime.
Yeah, this is what it is.
Yes.
So one of the things we take is call, which means we have to live within a certain distance, and the problem, pros and cons to that, the con is that I don't know that somebody can afford, there's not that much available affordable housing for somebody new to find a place, or rentals even, in the close proximity. I don't know what the answer to that is. My suggestion was to try and alleviate the call situation, and what I propose is doing it over 2 years, if you will, because we need to, it would be hiring somebody, you need 6 officers to have 24-hour coverage with no call.
Right.
I would do, what I put in the budget as a way to solve that would be start one summer of 2024. By the time they're done training, it'll be the end of, and on their own, it'll be the end of 2024, and also start somebody December, because there's a January academy, and it would take, again, another 6 months. And put the process, although this expense is up front, obviously it adds at the end too, because it's ongoing personnel costs. But it puts us, so that by the end of 2025, provided, excuse me,
Sure.
261. We'll have to go to that, but it's under super emergency. I don't know, that's what I offered up as a solution to try and make it more attractive. I mean, that's, and I mean, we're the only department in the town that hasn't increased in 20 years in staffing.
Yeah.
Every other department has. I mean, our population has gone up, and we serve more people per officer than most of the towns around us, almost every town around us. Well, everyone that abuts us, but it's like 1 or 2 that are a little further away. And we have a large summer influx. I mean, tried to, I mean, I did the cost, you know, we talked about cost of uniforms for new officers. I did that out. I was surprised where it came to. Obviously, some of this doesn't have to get, probably should have been down in the equipment section, like traffic vests. That should really be, you know, if we're replacing somebody, like we're hiring somebody to fill the 4th slot, we've obviously got a traffic vest. So some of the stuff is self-inflating vest. We have one of those already. But if we were adding somebody, we'd be right up to almost every bit of it. I don't always get like both, all of the hats right away. I wait to see a little bit, but it's, I was surprised how much it came out to, because last year in the budget I would put in for less than that to fill the position that was open as it was, but obviously this year we haven't spent a lot on it. I mean, fortunately these uniforms seem to have a pretty good life, so we're not burning through them like we used to with some of our other uniforms we've had. But the price has gone up on them, and the fact is we really didn't buy any this year. We're gonna have to be replacing some next year, I'm sure. Fuel, it's up because I considered that we'd have 4 officers as open. That's why I was banking on 4 officers. Maintenance, having all the vehicles on the road would probably mean more maintenance, and maintenance seems to have gone up a lot. Hopefully with you know, getting rid of the older vehicles. Hopefully it will be a little more reasonable, but we've had to spend a lot on maintenance for some of these vehicles due to.
Okay, let's start at the top. Can we do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna wear myself out tonight.
Yep.
If we don't. Okay. The officer salary, right now you're tracking for 191,290. That's what you're gonna spend this year on officer salary.
Because there was a vacancy.
I'll talk now, let you talk.
Okay, sorry.
So, where you're coming up with the $433,833 is somewhere out there in space. Because you haven't found a candidate in 3 years, and now you're gonna get 2 candidates in 1 year. And if we had already budgeted for a candidate to come on board at 253,000. So, I mean, I'm just looking at this right now, and you talk about salaries. I mean, we've got one officer at 75,000 plus 5,000 overtime, the other one at 86,000 with 5,000 overtime. So they're not underpaid as far as I'm looking at the other officers around the county here. And I don't think anybody here is underpaid. And if you're gonna, I mean, you conflict all of this stuff, because if you're gonna bring on 2 officers and you don't need a $9,000 increase in your overtime budget, what's the point? You know, you're gonna have coverage at that point in time. Right now, I'm looking at, you've got to, even giving everybody a month's vacation and all the holidays off, you still got 13.2 hours worth of coverage.
So what I did,
Okay, go
sorry,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
I didn't know if it.
I'm fine, go ahead.
So what I did is, one of the things I did is I brought the pay up. So we start now at 26, which is not competitive with what everybody else is. And I brought that to 30, 38, that's on our chart. It's on this page I did right here, how I calculated it.
Okay.
And I did it, so I did that based upon 78 weeks. So you're right, we haven't spent that much we approved this year for 4, but I brought it up. And I brought that up because that, also though, if we go to that, I mean, you're.
Okay, adding 1 officer, let's just stop there.
Yep.
At $38 an hour, add $79,000 to your payroll, which at your current rate of travel brings you to $270,000 for that line. And that's if you add the guy first day of January. So if you're adding the guy in June after the academy or whatever,
So I did 78 weeks at that pay.
there's only 52 weeks in a year.
1 for the officer to fill the 4th
Let's do 1
position.
officer at a time,
Okay.
because we haven't attracted 2 officers yet.
Okay,
But if we just take the $38 payroll that you'd like to offer, which
$30.
I'm sorry,
30.
I use 38. I mean, let's, 30 would be less than this. I mean, I came up with a good figure of 261,000 for that line item. That's adding an officer, still, even though we haven't found a candidate.
Can I shed a little bit of light? I may not be able to totally answer this, but I think you made a mistake.
Okay, maybe I did. I'm infallible.
This column right here is all the salaries.
Yeah.
The 433, 833 is all of the salaries in your department for officers, right?
Adding 1 in June.
Okay? But you go over here to the budget sheet, your officer's salary, you carried that number 433, 833 over,
Yeah,
but your salary is on another line above it.
yeah.
I think you should be subtracting your salary from the officer's salary.
Oh, that could be. 261. That could be.
So what does that leave us with?
About. That could be.
314, 481.60.
Okay,
Which is an increase of roughly $60,000. That's a big difference.
You said,
What was it, Bob, 314?
314, 481.60.
I've got a call I gotta go to. I just got called to,
how long you want to do?
I don't know.
Okay,
So
so do you want us to approve or disapprove this budget without you?
gonna do it anyways,
We are. You're right.
based on what passed, so.
Yeah, I don't, this salary calculation page is absolutely useless to me. Because you can't go 52 weeks and then start on a 78-week program.
No.
And then a $10,000 retention fee, I don't know what that, I don't know what that is.
That's a, thank you for,
No, I know, but we
Yeah.
have longevity, we have vacation, we have holiday.
Have
And
it
now
all.
we're gonna,
I think
is
it's,
that 10,000 divided by 5?
I don't wanna speak for the chief, but I think he's trying to be competitive in the market.
Well, I appreciate that, but are we only paying one $10,000 retention fee? Because we're retaining the sergeant, we're
He's
retaining-
got 3 budgeted right here,
I'm not seeing 3, Bob.
3, right here. 3 at 10 equals 30.
Okay, so we're gonna pay the 3 officers that we have, or 2 of the officers that we have and 1 officer that we're getting,
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
$10,000 each.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Just to, because they stayed with us for a year.
Right, and then we're going to,
By the way, I'm not, this doesn't, just because I'm talking like this doesn't mean I'm supporting this.
no, I know it isn't, I'm just trying to clarify in my mind how this
Okay.
thing plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's do it this way. I have it on there. So he's gonna spend $191,290 this year in salaries, right?
More or less.
And he wants to go, oh. Times 80. So we're 30.38. Okay, times.
I don't understand what that 78-week model is.
Okay, so then he's gonna, so he's adding $63,190
What's
for
it?
1 officer,
It's 6 months.
and then if we divide that in half for his second addition, that's another $31,595. So that's adding $94,785. So 94,785 plus 191,290. Is $286,000. I mean, we're in the range of where I was going. I came up with 261,000 using just this sheet. without getting
I wrote
his-
that down, yeah.
into his mathematics. I mean, I'm a
So,
significantly happier.
and then if we start at the top, it appears that he's requesting more than a COLA,
Right.
which
I like to hear that too.
I'm not inclined to just okay without some more explanation. The office assistant looks reasonable.
Mhm.
Fuel, I do understand that one, no. I can
He's
see
on
that.
track for $9,400 this year.
For fuel?
Yeah.
So
So
it's,
did something change, Audrey or Cammy, about the way the fuel?
Well, he's one less, he
Purchase
has one
it
less
was-
vehicle on the road.
Well, he's planning on having 4 vehicles on the road.
Oh, he's gonna have 4 vehicles on the road.
if he does, then the 14.4,
He has 3 on the road now,
Yeah.
so I think $12,000 is a good number for that. Like, or 12,500.
I think he only has 2 on the road right now.
He only has 2?
so.
But he's
that-
got,
The
Three
yellow.
options.
Well, if he does-
There's 4. There's 2 new cruisers.
Right, but there's 3 officers, including him.
so you,
They all drive
shifts, he's
something.
got 3 shifts worth of
Right,
vehicles being used. So you, so 2 of them are sharing a
Correct,
cruiser,
correct.
but it's still you, the fuel's still being consumed.
Yeah.
So
His overtime line is figured for,
Who's sharing?
why are they sharing a cruiser?
But he was just explaining
Because the
earlier.
22 is still out of service. For whatever reason.
All right. Do,
I'm down to overtime.
okay, so currently,
And I can't find my current budget report, so.
he spent 95.99
Delinquent.
so far.
The
Budget cut.
year-to-date expenditures?
Yeah. I don't know.
So he's on track to spend 10.5. in
On track
overtime.
to spend 10.5 this year,
Yep,
In overtime?
yep,
okay?
With,
And we budgeted
847.
10,847.
So, assuming that we have a 3% increase in
Right.
salaries, 10,847 times 1.03. So 11,172, so 11,2 is what the
Plus a
right
third person.
but he's also gonna have another, hopefully have another officer
first.
with the potential for overtime.
Which means you can spread it
Okay.
out over that number rather than giving it to 2 people.
Well, you got 11,172, I mean, even if you put a, so currently they're all both getting $5,000 in overtime, if you make it easy for yourself.
Right.
So the most you can possibly allow, I would think it'd be 14,000, but maybe, I mean, 18,000 just seems like,
Well, if you had more officers, then you can spread the overtime thinner. It's just that instead of having 2 that are getting 5,000, you might have 3 that are getting 3,500 each.
well, let's do it by the hours.
Whatever you wanna look at that, how you wanna do that. Kinda wish I could find the most recent budget.
So he's talking about 500 hours of overtime work,
Yep.
so that's,
Oh, look. It's here somewhere, but,
Should be in the green folder.
yeah, it isn't, that's the problem. I had it out earlier, but I'll look again, but it's only gonna be for a fun through. No, it's not there. Either way, okay. Well, we know his chances of getting 1 officer are slim, and we know his chances of getting 2 are slimmer, I would say.
And what he's suggesting, from what I'm hearing he's suggesting, is that if we change the dynamics of the police department, institute these suggestions that he's suggesting, that it would make it more attractive and easier to fill those positions.
But he's also telling
So
us
he
that,
thinks.
but he's also telling us that towns and other governmental organizations that have made it attractive still have a hard time
Still having a
getting it.
hard time, right, it's systemic, it's
So I'm not seeing,
unique to Tufton Borough.
I'm not seeing any particular benefit.
Right.
And retention's always, important. We managed to have two very long-term police officers, but we've also had a couple that didn't stay very long as well, so.
And the other thing you have to, I mean, let's say he gets a candidate tomorrow, and that candidate's gonna go through the academy in June, because that's when it happens. That candidate can't go out on the road alone
Right.
until September or October. So you may have 3 months worth of overtime opportunity at that point in time. And they're not gonna get to work overtime
No.
unless everybody's working overtime.
Right.
I mean, we can move on, but I'd like to stay somewhere around $12,000, but. I mean,
I'm all right with 12,000 for overtime. Again, if he has 3 officers, he can spread the overtime out over 3 people instead of over 2.
Right,
Those guys get to go home a little earlier or not get,
right,
Tied up from the
instead of
family.
getting $5,000 worth of overtime, they're getting $4,000 worth of overtime and working 1/3 as much
Right.
or less time.
I'd be all right with 12 on that. What about you, Bob?
Well, seems to be justified, even in a perfect world.
Mm-hmm.
If he were to hire everybody when he wants to hire everybody, he's budgeting for a full year. I'd be okay with a modest reduction. I'll trust your math.
It's famous last words. Okay, on the holiday pay, he's currently at a $8,630 track for the end of the year. I don't know how much holiday pay is gonna come out this month for police officers. Do they do the same rag with
Right, they
the
had,
firefighters do?
whatever is in their year-to-date is what is gonna be there, that's their holiday pay.
Okay,
I just paid them the 96 hours.
so they've collected currently, holiday, where are you? $9,599. Okay.
Hmm.
How
My
much?
year,
Oh,
How
seven-
much?
$7,911.
Yeah.
thank you, I cut.
That's all they're getting?
Right, but if you're considering a different policy where they actually take holidays,
But that won't be in effect till January 1st.
Well, that's the budget we're working on, but how's that changed the numbers though?
because holidays would normally come right out of your salary line, there's not a separate line item for holiday pay, it's just part of a person's salary.
Right,
And so it wouldn't be above and beyond. Now, if they work that holiday because they're called out, then they would get paid,
The hours that they worked.
right?
right,
Unless they're already at their hours and it turns into overtime.
yeah.
Okay.
So, the
Basically eliminating holiday pay in a couple of these departments makes sense because,
But we have to move a certain amount of that number or all of that number into the salary line.
right,
So it doesn't really
it doesn't change the bottom line,
change the bottom line.
but it does eliminate some confusion, I think.
well, it shouldn't move the number, because it's already built into their, I use the number 2,080, right, because that's 40 hours times 52 weeks, 2,080 hours. So
Right.
that should already be built in. The
Okay.
holiday shouldn't
Right.
be above and beyond that. And then,
So why we are above and beyond that is,
because of an old policy.
yes, open to debate, so. to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would think with the overtime and the holiday pay, you may want to consider the chief's request for some retention money. You know, he's requested $10,000
No, he's
per,
requested $30,000, it's never gonna happen. It'll never get through the budget committee. I mean, you can beat me up all you want over it, I don't believe in it, but it's never gonna get through the budget committee. And,
I don't know. You know the budget more than me, but I'll be curious
I can
how
let it
tomorrow
try to
goes, and then
sell
I'll tell you.
This is not our traditional budget committee, in my opinion. This is the new and improved budget committee.
All right, where do we wanna be on holiday pay? If we just leave this alone, cause we gotta present something, I guess.
I wouldn't have anything in holiday, and yeah, move it up to the office of salary.
If you do that here, we're gonna have to go back and do it in the fire department too.
I have a feeling the budget committee might do that tomorrow.
You have a feeling?
Well, then let them do that to this too then.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
All right, but I'm not gonna let them do it at $18,691.
That's overtime.
Or $12,810.
Right.
That's
Cause
three-
we're only tracking at 10,354, we're not even tracking at that.
But you're tracking it because there's only been
There's
3
a third
officers.
people,
Right,
No, there's only been 2 officers,
too.
and 3 for a very
Well,
short time.
so it's $4,000 an officer for holiday pay, basically, that's what we're paying right now.
8 hours times 12 days times hourly rate.
Okay, let me do that. 8 times 35 times
12.
12. And it's only 11, but that's okay. $3,360. So 4,000 is what I said. So if you add 4,000, you get a third officer.
Mhm.
So I'm happy at
12 grand.
12. No. I'm happy at $12,000 for holiday pay. Sure, why not? And the problem that I have, and I'm just gonna editorialize here for a second, is we're gonna end up with a 500 plus that $100,000 budget,
Right.
and it's all gonna get spent, and we won't have a third officer, and that's what pisses me off.
I
You know, it's
find
just-
that to be an issue in another department as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've spent $379,000 of $491,000 budget, and he's not done yet, he's got a whole month to spend.
Well, I agree.
Uniforms, he spent $691 this year.
Right.
So even if you were to add an officer, I don't think he needs more than $6,000.
He has a quote, he said for 8,000, and he's replacing body armor. So if you look at his backup,
I did,
okay.
'cause he, it's $600 hat project, but
No
I'm not,
hats yet,
I'm sorry?
no hats yet. Not in uniforms. The hats aren't in the uniforms.
God, why?
Do you have this? Do you have this?
Yeah.
In the back.
If you add it up, winter hat, warm winter hat, baseball hat, summer hat, hat badge, keeper for hat, cover for hat,
Hat
hat
retention.
strap, and
device.
acorns, that's roughly $600.
It's a little over $600 actually. In hats. And are we replacing all the body armor? Because if we are, we've got another issue. Is how do we, all of a sudden we got all of the body armor for all of the officers doing 1 year? Do we have a schedule of events going on here? I mean, it just,
To be honest with you, I don't know that body armor wears out unless it's been shot at. Maybe the
either.
stitching lets go, I don't know. I really don't know enough about it to
I don't
to
know.
make an informed decision on that particular item. But it seems,
Anyway, I'm gonna make a motion that we put $6,000 on the uniforms line.
keep it what it was for,
Yep.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? We're gonna vote. Aye.
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 Okay, on conference and
So we're
training.
doing this line by line, huh?
No.
We
No,
got it.
you haven't done any
And
yet.
this is the first vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'll add it on.
when it's all done, we'll go right down through it.
So conference and training, year to date, he spent $5,538 of an $11,750 budget. So I'm not certain why we need to go to $15,000.
Well, if you get 2 new officers that have to be confirmed and trained, I would think that would jump up the
Okay,
number, but I think he's basing everything here on 2 new officers, let's face it, he said so. And I applaud his honesty, but
But we haven't even broached that subject.
no.
which subject?
And broaching that subject is gonna change a bunch of other numbers.
Always.
Well, he only has 1 new uniform, and we talked about putting the other one on in December. So I don't really think there's a second one built in here. But in his conference and training, he has Axon Taser, that's a 4800. I don't know what kind of taser that is.
I don't know if the officers have to recertify on TASER every year or every 2 years, or, but certainly a new one would have to.
So do you want to have questions and have the chief come back Monday morning?
He's gonna have to, I mean, this is,
We can't do this without him.
it's so bizarrely structured.
We could, but I wouldn't be comfortable.
All right, I make a motion that we,
He's tripled his new equipment budget, he needs to justify that.
I would make the motion that we hold this budget until the chief can come in Monday, and insist that he comes in Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we meeting?
It's a 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
in the morning?
All right, that being said, is there any other business? I'd entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.